And then there was two nights away from WrestleMania. I can't believe it's 2 days. Man, time is flying. We're almost into April. 2 nights away, WrestleMania. And guys, breaking news. We have the match reveal for WrestleMania. Night 1, Night 2. What matches are going to be on which night? BC's got the reveal for you. Nick Khan revealed it within the last 15 minutes. Nick Khan, the CEO of WWE, has made the list public, and we are going to talk about it. What matches are on which night? Does it have the vibe? Is it a good list? What night looks better right now on paper? We're going to talk all about it. The Match Reveal podcast, man. This is what we've been waiting for. We're going to talk all about it. Also, a little bit later in this amped up podcast for Thursday, March 30th, 2023, we are going to discuss the Monday Night Raw rating for this week, the go-home show to WrestleMania. Was it able to finally dig out of the 1.7s? We're not asking for much. We're not asking you to move mountains. We're asking you to just get out of the 1.7s. This is no Monday Night Football. There's been at least a pulse on Monday Night Raw for WrestleMania season. At least a pulse. It's insane to think that they can't get out of the 1.7s, but that's what happens when you've been so bad for so long. A lot of the audience, even though you have a pulse now, and it's like, hey, come back, we're a little bit better. A lot of the audience is like, nah, you're going to have to give me more of a reason. And BC told you that was going to happen. So we'll see on the go-home show to Mania. Were they able to dig out of the 1.7s? The surprise of the week, ratings-wise, was NXT getting a nice big jump going into Stand and Deliver. That'll be this Saturday afternoon. We'll talk about NXT's rating as well. We got to talk about Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is kind of shocked, confused that the wrestling world took some of her words in a different way. But if you look at Alexa's words, they can only be taken one way. What's BC talking about? Don't mean to be cryptic, but we'll talk about it later on in the podcast. That's why it's a show, right? This is the cold open. I'll give you more details when we go over the topic, but we got to talk Alexa Bliss. Much love and respect to Alexa, but come on, Alexa. You know better than that. Also, for the females on the flip side, over in AEW, Britt Baker is doubling down literally. She's telling you, like, her words cannot be mistaken, right? I mean, you know her words are true because she's literally telling you she's doubling down on her thoughts and how she feels about Thunder Rosa. We'll go over that as well. And for those that are going, well, I think it's more storyline, BC. It wouldn't matter. These are real thoughts, guys. If you know, you know. Like, that's how they just don't like one another. And Thunder Rosa is very hard to get along with for a lot of these females. I mean, like the CM Punk version of females is Thunder Rosa, man. So Britt Baker has a lot to say about that. We're going to get to that as well coming up in just a little bit. But the match reveal is the big thing. Quick programming alert, programming note for the channel. And then we'll go over the match reveal for WrestleMania. But later this evening, the plan for BC is to record this amped up podcast for you guys. The big match reveal. There was no way I was going to miss recording this for you guys. I've been waiting for this for 2 weeks. So we're going to do this recording, and then BC's going over to the Bronx, and we're going to catch all the activities of opening day at Yankee Stadium. After the game, this evening, BC hopes to record a live, amped up special podcast for my amplified unit. In baseball, we call that a double header when you have 2 games in one day, a double decker basically. So I said, let's have a double header. It's WrestleMania time. It's opening day. Let's kick this into high gear. Let's show everybody why BC Amplify, the amplified unit, is the best part of this community. And with more than just words, let's show that with action. And that's what we're going to do, man. I hope to, after the Yankee game today, opening day, later this evening, I hope to be live for a special Amped Up podcast where rant alert. If you like old school BC rants you're going to get one later this evening. It's rant time because a big part of the community refuses to really acknowledge or spend a lot of time on the CM Punk, Mox, Tony Khan drama, if you will. But if this was WWE, we would take the littlest thing and we would grasp onto it for weeks and months. We'd never let it go. We'd blow it up into the biggest thing. But when it's AEW, everybody turns a blind eye. I don't know what the big deal is. Nobody's saying anything of substance. Let's all turn our attention elsewhere. Hey, Vince McMahon, I think, is backstage again. Fucking WWE is imploding again. Wait, we're not talking about that. So BC has a rant for the people that don't want to call it down the middle. The hypocrisy is real, and BC's gonna rip that shit apart. That's coming up later this evening, live, if you guys like the old school BC rants. All right, gonna get a big swig of coffee, and it's time to reveal these Mania matches. What's on night 1? What's on night 2? Does it feel right? Which night's better? Let's talk all about it right now. All right, so WrestleMania Night 1, Night 2, the lineup has been revealed. And before we get into it, Nick Khan was asked by Stephen A. Smith on ESPN's First Take, what can I expect? What can we expect from WrestleMania? Stephen A. tells Nick Khan, the CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment, that he's going to be there live. So give me a little something. What can we expect? Nick Khan says, expect a lot of surprises. Expect surprises. We had a bunch at Royal Rumble, Nick Khan says, and we're going to have a bunch at WrestleMania. Surprises, man. Stephen A. said that he was going to ask Nick Khan about his good buddy, The Rock, and he never got to it. The interview was cut short. Could it be Dwayne Johnson as one of those surprises, man? Surprises, huh? All right. Well, John Cena's already in a match. Ain't going to be him. I don't know. Does The Undertaker make that long walk? And even if he does, The Undertaker said he's never going to put on the hat and that big long jacket again. He ain't going to do the Undertaker gimmick, so we're not going to have that spot. I don't know, man. I don't know. The Rock, it's got to be, right? Does he cost Roman Reigns that title? Big surprises, man. Expect surprises. Nick Khan says that. All right, that's what we're going to be doing. Now, here we go, guys. Night 1, the reveal of the lineup. Now 7 matches have been announced for night 1. John Cena versus Austin Theory, we already knew about. That's going to start the night. Also on this card, the men's showcase for the tag team showcase match featuring Strowman, Ricochet, and I don't even know who else. Just a bunch of tag teams. It's something you'd see on Raw and SmackDown, but that's another story for another day. That is literally your bathroom break for night 1. Oh, no, wait. We didn't get to the Charlotte match yet. I'm kidding. So, John Cena, Austin Theory, night 1. The men's tag team showcase, night 1. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio in a family feud grudge match. Rey and Dominic will be night 1. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul in what should be a damn classic for the ages. Night 1. Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control's Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and Bayley. That 6-woman tag match is going to be night 1. The Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the tag team titles, night 1. And Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, night 1. And a little bit of I don't know, just a little bit of tidbit information, guys. The way that it was presented on screen, Cena and Theory topped the screen, but we know that's going to start the show. Now, when they did it for night 2, Cody and Roman was at the top of the page, and we know that's the main event. So why was Austin Theory and John Cena on the top there? Because maybe Cena's the biggest name? And then underneath the Cena Theory match, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley was next in line. That goes to show us that I think they're going to go with that match as the main event. Third was the Usos versus Sami and Kevin Owens. That is a botch. We've already seen Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley 3 years ago at a WrestleMania. It's a rematch. The story 3 years ago was even better than it. This isn't even a story. Nothing has happened between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. They had one brawl, and that was it. 3 years ago, at least Charlotte showed up to the Performance Center in Orlando, took out Rhea Ripley in the parking lot. You had a little something 3 years ago. So now we're just getting a rematch, and there is no story at all. It's just, that's it. There's a rematch, and I want the revenge from 3 years ago. And that's your main event because it's Charlotte Flair. I mean, how is Asuka and Bianca not worthy of that match? Asuka and Bianca is more fun, is more intriguing than that. But that's stuffed over on night 2. Anyway, guys, I'm hoping that they change this up. I'm hoping it's the tag team title match. Usos have been champions for the longest time, way longer than Charlotte's been a champion. So that alone, they deserve the main event. I mean, make the tag titles prestigious. The storyline is one of the best storylines, if not the best. The bloodline in Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So the storyline, the prestige of the titles, and the length of time the Usos have had it. And 3, it's going to rival Logan Paul and Seth Rollins for match of the night, maybe even match of the weekend. So logic will tell you that's the main event. And of course, people are going to say, well, Charlotte won the Rumble, or Rhea won the Rumble, so the Rumble winners get the main event, just like Cody for the men. Rhea's got to get the main event. No, stop, man. Stop with that. We know WWE will change things on the fly with no explanation, and they've done it time after time. You're telling me this has to be etched in stone because she won the Rumble? No, we all know that's a botch. Nobody is going to want to stick around 3 to 4 hours to get the Charlotte and Rhea. But that's what it's looking like, guys. That was right under Cena in Theory, but Cena in Theory is starting the night. I recap. John Cena versus Austin Theory, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, the Usos versus Sami and Owens, Trish, Lita, and Becky versus Damage Control, Rollins versus Logan Paul, Mysterio versus Mysterio, and the Men's Showcase. That is only 7 minutes. Is it 7 minutes? 7 minute WrestleMania. No wonder it went 2 days. It should be 2 hours. 7 minutes. That's a good one, BC. 7 matches on night 1. 7 matches. That leaves room for these surprises that Nick Khan is talking about, and at least one impromptu match. Could that be the night where we see Stone Cold? Now, on the flip side, it's even shorter. Only 6 matches. So maybe that is definitely when we see The Rock, and we have something lengthy to end the show. You guys remember Royal Rumble? After that big... or was it the Elimination? No, it was the Rumble, right? Roman Reigns. And that's when Sami Zayn turned on Roman, and then the Bloodline just annihilated Sami. And that whole thing took over 20 minutes. And that was after the Royal Rumble was basically over, after the main event. And we went into that whole storyline. You could get something like that, I guess, because there's only 6 announced matches. Now, BC told you that Lita and Becky want to defend the titles on night 2. They've been wanting to do that. They're officially on night 1, so they still could do that with only 6 announced matches. So let's get to that. That's a lot of talk, BC. Let's get to the actual factual information. Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship will be on night number 2. Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre in a triple threat intercontinental title match is officially on night 2 with Bianca and Asuka. Edge versus Finn Balor inside of Hell in a Cell. It's going to be Demon Balor versus Devil Edge, whatever that is. We expect more like the Brood Edge. We're even hearing that Gangrel could be beside him. So Bianca and Asuka, Gunther, Sheamus and Drew, Edge and Balor, Lesnar versus Omos. That's going to be the big match we're all excited for all weekend. Women's Tag Team Showcase featuring Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez and whoever else is in this thing, Shayna, Ronda Rousey, and a bunch of other teams. I don't know. Same like the men. This is the bathroom break. Go do what you got to do. Go pick up a bad habit. Go play in traffic. Twiddle your thumbs. I don't know who's going to be excited this. I want to see Liv Morgan just wreck it, man. I want to see the best out of Morgan. If this is going to be a showcase, I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking about her more than anybody else. And then the main event will be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. So again, to reiterate, night number 2 has 6 announced matches. Bianca Belair versus Asuka. Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. Edge versus Finn Balor. Lesnar versus Omos. Liv Morgan highlighting a women's tag team 8-person showcase match. In the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Undisputed Universal Championship. That's it, guys. That's what I got for you. I tried to do that as fast as possible. Expect surprises. 7 announced matches on night 1, 6 announced matches on night 2. BC will hope to be live with you guys on night 1. I hope to be live to cover the matches we just talked about, man. Hopefully it's a good night of action. Night 2 is looking stacked. What do you guys think, man? Night 2 is looking a little more jacked. Bianca and Asuka is a match that I'm definitely looking forward to. Edge versus Balor inside of Hell in a Cell. I think we'll all take that, man. We'll all we'll gladly participate in giving a few fucks about that. And then Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the World Championship. Obviously, that's the biggest match of the weekend. Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew is going to be physical with a title on the line. Night 1, I guess a lot of people would like to see Cena. I don't. Usos and Sami and Owens, absolutely. It'll be good to see Trish and Lita side-by-side wrestling in 2023. Who would have thought? Rollins and Logan Paul could easily be the match of the weekend. And then you got the awesome storyline and feud with Mysterio versus Mysterio. All right. I think night 2 may be a little bit of an edge. What do you guys think, man? This is where it's open to the forum for you guys, man. But that's the deal. Nick Khan says expect surprises. I'm seeing that, man. Expect. I can speak. I need more coffee. 7 matches on night 1, 6 on night 2, 13 matches over 2 nights. Not that lot. The emphasis will be on the actual quality of the match, it looks like, right? Giving it more time, more effort, more creativity will be put in the matches. That's good. But you still got to fill at least 3.5 hours each night. Because we are hearing that each night will go over 3, still with the shortened amount of matches. I don't know. A lot to talk about. We'll talk about it more. I hope to be with you guys, like I said, later tonight for a live stream as well. An extra bonus, Amped Up Live with BC. Maybe we'll talk more about that. Obviously, we will. Over the next 24 hours leading into Saturday's night 1, man. But I hope to be with you guys live for night 1. Let me get a big swig of coffee, because after all of that information, I think I've earned it. And then we'll come right back. We have a lot more to discuss. All right, so moving on. Let's talk ratings real quick. My Monday Night Raw pulled in a 1.843, up from last week's 1.7 semi, maybe 176, 177. So they were able to pull in another roughly 75,000 viewers for the go-home show to WrestleMania. Is, on one hand, you say, hey, you win up. 75, the better part of 100,000, right? 75, you're 3/4 there to a full 100K. You'll take it, right? Go up. Don't just stay steady, and definitely don't decline. So on one hand, you say, hey, success. We got out of the 1.7s. Barely. I'm come on. You're at a one. Okay, you almost hit a 1.85. All right. On the flip side, not to be the Debbie Downer here, it's WrestleMania season. There's no Monday Night Football at all. And you're pulling, I mean, you're nowhere near 2 million viewers on what was your flagship show for decades. I mean, so on one hand, yes, absolutely. You got out of the 1.7s. You're in the middle of the 1.8s now. Yes, that's good. The flip side and the downside is that you are just in the 1.8s now. So again, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, man. Nobody's trying to be the negative Nathan here, right? But that's not that good going into Mania, and I think that drop-off that we've seen year to year, that's real. And WWE Raw has gotten a little bit of a pulse, right? I mean, some good storylines that started on SmackDown. Obviously, they get transferred over to Raw, especially for Mania season. But even when it's not Mania season, there's no real brand split, right? They violate that whenever they want to, without any explanation. So they transferred that over. You start seeing Roman and Sami Zayn, and everybody starts switching over to Monday Night Raw. Rey Mysterio, Dominic, even Bray Wyatt before Bray Wyatt was gone and still is MIA. But the Wyatt, LA, all of that was, well, Wyatt was already Raw. When I say no, he was SmackDown, yeah, and then he got brought over to Raw, and he even started the Bobby Lashley feud before he went MIA. So the point is, a lot of that SmackDown infusion into the Red brand helped them out to give them a pulse. But what happened is, so many fans turned away that by the time WWE started to get a little better, too many fans were gone, and they have no real reason to turn around and come back. A lot of them don't even know it got a little better. They stopped caring, and that's what BC said for so long. I said, you're going so far backwards, and you've been so bad for so long, and you're losing so many of viewers, that when you finally start to get better, and you have no direct competition at all, you're still going to have to work 10 times as hard to get your viewership back up. And a lot of people heard BC say that over and over, and they're like, I think it'll be all right, BC. They'll still hit 2 up front. Couple months, they'll be at 2.2, and then before you know, they'll be closer to 2.5. I told you it's not that easy. And you're seeing how they're struggling to get anywhere near 2 million viewers, and that's WrestleMania season. I expect the post-Mania show to pull high 1.9s to 2.1, anywhere in that range. And then, I don't know what happens afterwards. I don't know if they can stay steady, 2 million plus. Can they even get close to 2 million post-Mania? I don't want to raise all these question marks and be the Debbie Downer here with WrestleMania 2 nights away. We're trying to stay optimistic and be in high spirits. But the number, it's good you went up 75,000, and it's really bad that you only went up 75,000. If you know, you know. This is not a number to party over, right? You're not going to let loose the streamers, the balloons, the confetti, and a little bit of pyro because you pulled a 1.843. So that's Monday Night Raw. Over on the flip side, the real dark horse here that was the surprise factor was NXT this week, man. You remember around Roadblock, they pulled around 620,000, I believe, something around there. And then they went down to like what was it, 575? 575? I don't know. They went like pretty backwards. Maybe it was 595. I don't have the number up front, but they definitely dipped back into the 500s. And BC was like, damn, I wish they kept that momentum. It was really going to be interesting to see what they pull going into Stand and Deliver, which is Saturday afternoon. Before WrestleMania Night 1, NXT is putting on their premium live event, PPV, Stand and Deliver, stacked card. Braun Breaker is going to be defending. My gal, Roxanne Perez, will be in action with her championship. It's a stacked card. Grayson Waller. A really good match with Johnny Gargano is on tap, and I think that's obviously... I know people are looking forward to Braun Breaker and Mello, but if you're thinking Gargano and Waller isn't going to be the match that we're all talking about coming out, I don't know, man. That seems to be the match of the night. We'll see. But there's a big event there, so BC was thinking, okay, man... They can't go into WrestleMania not in the 600s, right? They have to somehow. But with ratings in a decline going into Mania, SmackDown has lost 250,000 viewers in the last month. The closer we get to Mania, SmackDown is going down. They pulled a 2.23 this past week. They were in the high 2.4s for a while. Raw, 75,000 uptick. Okay. But it's like, what's going on with NXT, man? Are they going to go backwards or just stay steady at around 550? They went to 620,000 viewers, guys. Again, on one hand, you're thinking, okay, well, that's not that great, right? I mean, it's Stand and Deliver. It's WrestleMania, man. You want to be pulling at least 750, right? But when you're looking at roughly the same number that they got for Roadblock, which is a themed event, NXT show a couple Tuesdays ago, and you're pulling that on a regular show, I think 620, I think you'll take that, you'll walk away and you won't look back. Just in case there was a mistake. Take the 620 and hope that it goes even up for the post show, because you saw Raw didn't go up that much. So that's why BC was thinking, I don't know if NXT is going to go up that much. If Raw only went up 75,000, what's NXT going to go up, 10,000? No, they went to 620. So you take that and you hope that you can at least get 650, 660 post-Mania. That's not asking a lot. It's not asking to move mountains. And if you could pull 650, 660 coming out of Mania, That is a big difference from screwing around with 555, which is where they were under a month ago. 555,000. You're talking about another 100K coming out. That's a big boost just in morale alone. So that's the NXT number. That was nice to see. They didn't just clinch 6. They went a couple tens of thousands more, just over 620. I think the final number was 621,400 or something. So just over 620. Very cool to see for NXT going into their event. Alexa Bliss. Let's move over to Alexa Bliss and Britt Baker, man. A couple of the females. We'll end on those stories. All right, so Alexa Bliss. Now, this is, you guys remember, this is, and we're so good that everything turned out okay, too, with her C scare. If you guys know, you know. I'm glad everything is good. We love Alexa. We hope all is good. I always loved Bray and Alexa together. I know that's not maybe popular, a popular statement for a lot of people, but I love them together. Ratings were always popping off. Metrics were always good. Merchandise through the roof. Fans like BC love that stuff. So I definitely see a place for Alexa in WWE and in pro wrestling for sure. And recently, though, she was asked about the hiatus, right? And Dave Meltzer's talking about, she asked for time off. She said on a couple of different occasions, I didn't ask for time off. I literally said that twice, at least, that BC caught. And then recently, she said this. This was just a couple of weeks ago, guys. This is from Alexa. Tired of seeing these tweets. I am not on a hiatus. They know where to find me. Meaning WWE, obviously. I mean, that's not, it's not that crazy to jump to that conclusion. I am not on a hiatus. They know where to find me. That's what she said. I mean, it's pretty obvious. And then recently, Alexa just said this a couple of days ago. It's just so funny how people just jump to conclusions on everything. You just got to let things play out sometimes. When asked about any rift with the WWE. And, of course, she was on The Masked Singer, and she had that health scare. But she's been gone for months, and this is not the first time this has happened. And this is not the first time that she has been unhappy with her booking in WWE. She has literally said that several times on her own social. We've come across that story so many times. So because of the history of her in WWE and not being properly booked, that's her feelings on it. And then recently, she's gone for months. That's more than just the health scare, obviously. That's more than just filming The Masked Singer. I mean, WWE, John Cena is filming movies. The Rock was filming movies during, or had a lot lined up before, post-production while he was wrestling Cena at Mania, and movies lined up after. You can obviously find time to stop by and do your WWE storyline, even if you're not wrestling every day. Of course, Alexa could have had a WWE storyline going on, or at least more transparency could have been had with her involvement with WWE from either party. My point is, to say it's just so funny how people jump to conclusions on everything. Just let things play out sometimes. But Alexa herself said, tired of seeing these tweets, I am not on a hiatus. They know where to find me. And this is coming off the heels of her calling out her booking in the past. Justified, by the way. Because it has been shitty. And it has been botched. So Alexa has a gripe. But when the community sees that and says, they know where to find me, I'm not on a hiatus, you left that publicly. Cryptic manner. So what are we supposed to do? To think that it's they know where to find? Who? The New York Yankees know where to find you? Did the Yankees want you to play for their team? The Packers are losing Aaron Rodgers. Do we not want Jordan Love? Do we want Alexa Bliss to be our star quarterback? I don't understand who else would be. They know where to find. It's WWE. So you're saying I'm not on hiatus. They know. They got. Alexa, what? And then all of a sudden we're gonna play like we don't know why people jump to conclusions. Why are they thinking? I didn't mean that. I didn't write that. Nope. I didn't say that. Did I say that? Well, still, I don't know what I don't know what they're talking about, man. You know, they got to stop jumping to conclusions, these fans. Why are you fucking cryptic? Hey, why are you putting that up in public? I'm not on a hiatus. They know where to find. That's telling us that you're ready to rock in WWE has nothing for you, which is not the first time this situation has played out. You said that several times. Oh, Alexa, we love her, but, I mean, come on, you can't talk out of both sides. I mean, you got to stay consistent, keep the same energy. Much love to Alexa. But if you're wondering why people jump to conclusions, it was the only logical conclusion to jump to with a statement like that. We'll end it off, guys, with Britt Baker standing by, doubling down on what she thought about Thunder Rosa. A lot of that AEW locker room. At first, a lot of people thought it was just Britt Baker and her girls, right? They just don't like Thunder Rosa, and Thunder Rosa's the victim in all this. She's being bullied. But it wasn't the case, right? You started seeing people that were not in Britt's clique. Toni Storm walks alone. Like Batista, I walk alone. Toni Storm didn't have much nice things to say about Rosa. Thought that Rosa was going about business the wrong way. Back injury or not, okay, you drop the title, you take off, you do what you got to do. Jade Cargill walks alone. If there's anybody that walks alone in that female division, she is not part of anybody's group. And if she is, she's the leader. And Jade Cargill didn't have the nicest things to say. The whole locker room, was just upset. And Britt Baker made that known. And then Thunder Rosa would actually watch a lot of podcasts. So then podcasters and content creators would feel like they have to bump up the ego of Rosa and take her side. And they got false information. It was rough. And now Britt Baker is speaking out a little bit more. Baker says, and I quote, "I stand by everything I said because I still have the same question. You are traveling all over the place for other projects, but you're not coming to work where you are the champion. I have that question. I want to know why. I am just asking that question because I'm very passionate and protective of AEW. And anyone can call me a bully, but I stand by that. And that question still hasn't been answered till this day." And she's right. It was weird. Thunder was going on podcast. Sitting on Busted Open, I believe it's called, and doing podcast as champion, traveling around, promoting her own stuff. And here everybody's at AEW like, dude, what the fuck? Like, Toni Storm is fighting for an interim championship. That's demeaning at that point. Why is she playing second fiddle? She's showing up every day to work. You got a supposed back injury. There's no timetable for a return with a back injury like that. And Thunder knew that, Toni knew that, and she dragged it out until Toni finally said, all right, we're getting a lot of fucking heat and backlash here. I got to take the title from you. And you were just angering the women's division more. And it comes off the heels of a lot of people just not liking Thunder Rosa and her wrestling. I mean, she has sandbag time after time. She doesn't like to sell. You could put her in the category of Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax. She's very difficult to work with a lot of these ladies. That's what they've said, numerous. When it was just Evilise, everybody was just like, oh, it's Evilise. Everywhere Evilise goes, it's a problem. WWE, AEW. No, you got to remember, it takes two to tango sometimes. Thunder Rosa, what she did to Marina Shafir is next level horrendous. That should never happen, especially when Marina is just trying to get her feet down in this company still. She needs help from people like Thunder, who is already kind of established, and she should be thanking her lucky stars, because Thunder Rosa is not that good at all, and somehow she was getting over, right? People were really getting behind it. She was dipping in and out of podcasts, getting the podcast community, the diehards, to really get behind her. When if you try to name a top 5 list of Thunder Rosa's best matches, you ain't gonna find them. And if you do, it's probably with Baker, because they put a stipulation like lights out, and they started playing with thumbtacks and fire and who knows what. My name is BC Amplify. This has been Amped Up Podcast for Thursday, March 30th, 2023. It's opening day for Major League Baseball. I'm going to head over to the Bronx, catch the New York Yankees live for opening day. Afterwards, later this evening, I hope to be live with you guys for a live Amped Up special WrestleMania edition of the podcast. We'll talk more about these matches, the match placement, if you like it, which night do you feel is better, and BC has a rant later tonight as well on this whole AEW drama shit, right? Nobody else wants to call it down the middle, or at least call it at all even. Nobody wants to talk about it because it's drama in AEW. It's only fun when you can bash WWE's sloppy shop. Well, that's going to change tonight. BC saying check you. Top guy, I'm out. Think, be, live, amped always.